This morning's coffee with Philippe and Ashlan Cousteau.
And the satellite interview is furnished by TakePart.com. Cousteau's in the house. Philippe, Ashlan, how are you today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, let's jump.
I like that clapping.
I know.
It's all the fans of the Earth and the ocean. So what makes this planet unique in the universe? Hey,
right.
we have a beautiful facility here, the National Aquarium in Baltimore. I know you're familiar with it. And so we're very hip to what you guys are doing, what groups are trying to accomplish. Why don't you take it away and talk about Take Part?
Sure. Well, we're thrilled to be working with Take Part this summer on a new online program called Captive that is all about the history of marine mammals in captivity, particularly orcas, which are kind of the poster child for marine mammals in captivity, and the whole campaign to help people recognize that there are other and perhaps better ways to experience those animals than cooped up in a big tank for people's enjoyment with cheering crowds all day long.
Look, I mean, it's tough to deny, and we also have a fantastic zoo here, the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore. So I just want to play devil's advocate and throw out a question to get your response. Some would say the only way to really educate humanity to the need for conservation and environment is to bring it to them. And that would be an animal in captivity. How do you respond to that?
Well, we're not against zoos and aquariums. That's not at all what we're saying here. And certainly I've worked with the Baltimore Aquarium specifically. My offices are in Washington, D.C., and spent a lot of time with them. They do a lot of research and a lot of really terrific work. What we're really talking about here is that there are places that have taken these marine mammals, put them into captivity purely for entertainment purposes, particularly very large marine mammals like killer whales or orcas, that will travel hundreds of miles in a day, that see with sound, and then you put them in a tank where they swim three times their body length and their world ends, and subject them to cheering people all day long. I would also say in response to your question, though, that we've had elephants, rhinos, and tigers in captivity for over 100 years, and yet those animals are still on the brink of extinction. So the fact that we have some of these large animals in captivity does not correlate to their savior in the wild, and being saved in the wild. And certainly we've never had a large whale species in captivity, and yet the global community in the 70s came together to protect them. So one does not equate to the other necessarily. So I always call that argument a little bit into question. Black rhinos are going extinct. They've been in captivity a long time. That's still happening. So clearly there's not necessarily a direct correlation.
And you really need to think also about the intelligence of the animals. I mean, we're talking about these marine mammals are highly intelligent. They actually have self-recognition. If you put a mirror in front of an orca, it knows that it's their reflection. It doesn't think it's another orca. And they communicate with sound, and they're stuck in these tanks that are just reverberating sound at them all the time. And I think for me at least, I always want to think, okay, how intelligent is this animal, and how much does it move in the wild when I look at if I think it should be allowed to be in captivity.
Give us the website one more time.
You got it. It's takepart.com/captive.
Out of sight. Hey, listen, our time is run short. Philippe, Ashlan, thanks so much for being with us, and we hope to do this again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.